So here I'm going to do a different, something I have not done before. Turn on my light there. I'm doing a video on my vintage receiver and my new old stock record player. It's a Scott model PS 4003. I don't know if you can read that or not. For some reason it just wants to be really blurry. This is what you call a linear tracking turntable. And then this is my Pioneer SX727. I apologize again, I can't get it to stop being blurry. So this is funny story. I originally had purchased a Marantz for my bedroom, a Marantz 2215B, which is a low power receiver, only uses about 15 watt. But when I bought my speakers, these are Ohm Walsh 2. I got the Ohm on that one. That one, Walsh 2. And those are really powerful speakers. And even though this record player, turntable, whatever you want to call it, was new in its box, it was still from like 1991. And it did have a wire that had to be repaired on the bottom. I took it up to my local hi-fi shop here in town, and they were able to replace it and it was fine. But when I brought it home, I connected it up to the Marantz, which it's not this one. Like I said, I ended up actually selling that one to get this one. It wasn't playing any sound, so again, the first thing I thought was, I'll take it back to the studio, or the hi-fi store, and it was playing fine there, so it ended up being the receiver. So I massively got scammed on that receiver, and it was missing 2 capacitors, and the soldering job on the inside was pretty bad, and it was, it had definitely not even, the ad originally on eBay said it had been partially recapped. It definitely had not. So I ended up selling that to the guys up there. The name Marantz is a pretty high-end name, especially if you have an older receiver like I did from like the 70s. It was definitely, I got a pretty good deal even though it wasn't functioning. And I bought this thing, which was a lot more powerful. And they were working on it when I was there. The only thing they were not able to totally fix is the wire has a split in it. And but overall it still functions great. This is actual wood too, unlike my Marantz that was vinyl. It probably was originally wood. About the only thing I could probably say that does kind of suck about this receiver is, you see those connectors there that are connected to the speaker? Those are what they call jock strips, and you plug it in. You have to tie the wiring around the flathead screw it back in place, and it may seem like it's fairly easy, but no, it's not. It took about 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this thing on so you guys can see the cool. That's the and then when you go up here, let's go to FM. Got the FM over there. Some sound for you. FM. Try AM now. Auto, phono 1, phono 2, auxiliary. Let's go back to phono 1. Why don't I go ahead and test out the record player for you? Like I said, this is a linear tracking turntable. So that means is, first it's kind of nice, I got a 45 thing for my adapter for the 45. Not all record players come with that. But what that means is that this thing has the ability, when you hit Q, you can actually, this thing has a mechanism where it can move without you even having to touch it. You can manually move the arm also, but I just thought that was kind of cool. It's got a mechanism in which you can just push a button and the arm will move. Let's go ahead and get a record. I think I'm going to test out this one since I dropped it a couple days ago. Vanilla Fudge. It's a good album. And I'll show you some of the mechanisms in which I was talking about. So this thing, the record there, it's got some scratches all over it, which is a bummer. I accidentally dropped this record when I was going to play it. Actually, that was after I had played it, but I dropped it in between my bed by accident. It kind of flung out of my hands, and that kind of irritated me. But anyway, we'll see how this ends up playing. I'm kind of doing a test on this record. I know the player and everything works now, but play there. Let's go ahead and switch that back to 33. As you can see down there, like I said, it's really hard to read. The Scott stuff was always pretty obscure, but their older stuff in the 60s and 70s was better quality. This is just a plastic turntable. But overall, this is still really cool looking. I like how it kind of has these cool, the feet on the bottom are really big. Let me show you what I was talking about here. So that's the 45 right there. Let's go ahead and Q. Watch this. So you hit Q. You can move it with the button down there. Now we'll hit Q again. I believe the receiver, the Pioneer receiver, is a 35-watt receiver too, so it's a lot better for the speakers that I got. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it. And it goes back into place all by itself. Now let's go ahead and try a 45 out. That just bummed me out so much that I dropped that record, because this thing, it's got so many little small scratches on it, it doesn't look as nice as it did when I first bought it. And it truly was just like an accidental... It was definitely not on purpose, I can tell you guys that. It was just, it flung out of my hand when I was going to pick it up and put it back in its container. This here is a nice thing that it's vintage also. You can you take it out of the cube and you kind of rub it on the record, or the cylinder, whatever you want to call that. It's a Perostatic disc preener. I don't know how old it is. It was my dad's. He gave it to me. Let's go ahead and try a 45 out now. I'm trying to give you all the different functions here. So you pick up this thing here, put that there. Switch that to 45. There we go. It is now switched to 45, hit play. There we go. Guess that's the end. This one is going to be a quicker video. I'm going to do a video also on my, I know you can see some of my other electronic components there, but my JVC KDW55 and my Pioneer VSX 5300. And I'm going to get a tape, one of the ones I just bought a couple days ago. I'm not going to demonstrate the radio on this one. It's a digital receiver. One thing that I don't particularly like about this one also that's really nice about the other receiver that I have is when you turn on the receiver, it turns on the record player because of the plug on the back. As you can see, it's got that really cool vintage yellow digital screen on there and everything. It's kind of cool. And now it's got the cool kind of super 80s looking lights there. This is from both of these are from the late 80s. These were also my dad's. Same with the Sony speakers. Those aren't super nice speakers either. But yeah, this is a cool. It's got a. This one comes with a remote. They're from the late 80s. The turntable, like I said before, I have the box right there, the Scott turntable, is from the 90s, and then the other receivers from the 70s, and those speakers might be from the 80s. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn this on. I'm going to give a demonstration here. You cannot... Oh wow, you actually can on this one. That's kind of nice. This one you can actually still skip. The other side is messed up. You can't skip. Not only can you not skip, but you can't rewind. That's really cool that you can do this on this one. So that's the playing a Van Halen here. Just got that yesterday. These speakers are not the best, but they're okay. This thing needs some servicing. I'm gonna have to do that at some point. Please like my video and subscribe. It looks like only the one side works. Bummer. Well, let's try doing this real quick. No. Well, there you have it. So yeah, this thing does need some tuning. I'm gonna have to take this up to the hi-fi store at some point and get that fixed. The receiver is gonna need recapped at some point too, but it has had a little bit of work done to it. The digital we had, my dad had actually fixed that several years ago, so the digital thing comes on again. For a while, the screen was all messed up. It wouldn't even come on. It was, but you know, it's an old machine. So yeah.